It's time for good energy, and I'm Dr. Julie, and welcome to Bodyful Day 223. And we are talking about skin rashes and the senses. This is the last day of our series on skin rashes and the senses. Tomorrow we start a new one on bloating in the senses. We are talking about skin rashes and the senses. We're going to talk about how the sense of sight is usually a stressor, and how we can help that shift to give us more good energy in to heal our skin. All right, let's start with the basics. Take a deep breath in and release. On this next deep breath in, take a breath in, expand in your belly, expand into your chest, expand into your sinuses, and you'll feel your tailbone unhinge just a little. And then exhale and blow it out. And we're on the last day of skin rashes in the senses. And so we're going to breathe into whatever adult acne you have to deal with it, whether it's keratosis pilaris, which ends up on the shoulders, or it's getting occasional zits depending upon the time of the month. Let us breathe into those. Take a deep breath in and release. All right. So this is our last day. We're talking about how the healing equation and our senses can influence skin rashes. So remember, our goal here is to have energy to heal your skin equals good energy in minus stressors. And we've talked about how the senses can contribute to good energy in, and how they can also contribute to stress. Now, today we're going to talk about the sense of sight, and the sense of sight usually ends up being a stressor, especially when we talk about skin rashes, because part of the stress of skin rashes is the fact that they can be seen. From zits to eczema to rosacea and psoriasis, even lupus, those, or even hives, those rashes are visible to everyone around us. A lot of them do have a tactile component, which we talked about yesterday in the sense of touch, but a lot of them are also just plain visible. Zits, keratosis pilaris, to some extent hives, and they are visible, but they don't cause us any tactile stress. But the stress that they do cause is the fact that they are seen. Now, these days with blending and shading and makeup magic, you can find a tutorial on you could type in covering up a zit on anything in YouTube, and you'll come up with a 20-minute way of hiding even noses that are a little big and a little long. So the question is, when we have information like that, when we have access to that, is the amount of time that it takes to cover up what we're working on, or what we're trying to heal, worth the stress? Are you the same person with the zit as you are without the zit? I would say you are. And yes, there is stress with people seeing it, but there is also stress with trying to cover it up. Chronic psoriasis, chronic rosacea, those are a little bit more like you want to tuck them away. But when we talk about them, we also talk about the fact that, hey, sun is actually a good friend for some of these. For eczema, for psoriasis. I'm not sure about its relationship to rosacea, but definitely for psoriasis and eczema, and to some extent for acne, that sun is a very beneficial component. Now, sun can also cause hives, so that is where sun allergies can cause hives, so sometimes you have to understand that staying out of the sun will help you out. So what do you do, especially visually? How do you decide, do I take the time to cover up what I'm working on, because when I step out in public, I am not so self-conscious, which means that I'm a little more calm, which means I have a little bit more good energy in. Or do I let it go, knowing that there's some stress in being seen the way I am, but that there is a amount of peace that comes with not having to cover up and to just be who you are. That is a tough call, and it is something that has to be answered by each person by themselves. So if you believe and you have a very strong, you're very strongly convinced that when people look at you, they look at you differently given the skin condition that you have or the skin rash that you have, then yes, longer shirts, longer pants, makeup are going to be a little bit more functional and helpful than if you didn't wear them. But if you are perfectly comfortable with being who you are, well, if you don't believe that there's going to be more stress with actually working on, for having those skin rashes available, then you might not put that energy in and just see what kind of effect you can have on its own. Somebody's are very wanting to see if they can be on camera. All right, so that's just, again, one reason why the healing equation isn't set for each person. It is flexible because we don't know how you are going to respond compared to how I am going to respond. And if covering up calms your system and doesn't put a stress in when you're trying to work harder, then so be it. All right. I think that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the series on skin rashes and the senses. I hope it was helpful figuring out how to use the healing equation to work with your senses and increase your ability to have clear skin or healthy skin. And I will see you back here tomorrow when we start a series on bloating. All right, let's finish it off. Take a deep breath in and release. Have a great day. I'll see you here tomorrow.